Hi, this is Bob Simon and welcome. In this video, we're going to learn how to do some basic navigation. We're going to learn how to navigate our database that we set up in our data analytics training environment setup series. We'll also learn how to navigate DBeaver, which is where we'll be writing all of our queries. So first, open DBeaver. Then come to your database navigator pane and expand the connection that we set up when we install DBeaver. Expand databases, expand NeonDB. This is the database that we created when we set up our Postgres account. Then schemas, and you can see we have one schema, public. A schema is just a way to organize similar groups of data so it's easier to navigate your database structure. In this case, we only have 6 tables, so we're not going to worry about having multiple schemas. We only have one schema, but larger databases are going to have several schemas. Then expand tables, and you've got 6 tables. So in a perfect world, maybe we have the NASDAQ tables in a NASDAQ schema and the NFL tables in an NFL schema. But again, it's only 6 tables, so we're not going to worry about that. Now let's expand the NASDAQ stock tickers table, and this will let us get into the actual column level detail. Expand that. And now you should see all the columns that make up the NASDAQ stock tickers table, along with their individual data types. You see we have a handful of text fields, which is just going to be strings. It's like a mixture of numbers and letters. Then you also have a float. This is going to be a numerical value, typically with a decimal. Okay, so let's go ahead and view this table. So if you right click on this, you can come down to Generate SQL, select. You can copy this query. It's just an automatic default query. Then you're going to come to your SQL drop-down menu right above the database navigator pane, and you're going to do a new SQL script, and you are going to just paste the query that you copied. Let's just copy it like 3 times. Paste it, so just like that. I just want to show you how to run different types of queries. Okay, so you have really 2 options that you're going to work with. You can run a specific individual query, so just highlight the one that you want to run and press the first orange triangle here. It's right next to the query pane. Run that, and you're going to get the output associated with the query that you have highlighted. Okay, you might, when you run your first query, this output pane here might be shrunk down like that. So if you don't see anything, just kind of come down to the bottom and you can just drag it up. Now let's say you want to run 2 queries. Highlight the 2 queries that you want to run and press the same orange button. That's going to give you 2 tabs. It's going to give you, the first tab is going to be associated with the first query. The second tab is going to be associated with the second query. Just be careful to make sure that you have a semicolon separating the queries. Otherwise, the engine will read it as just like one big query, and you can't just have one query run into the next query. So you just got to separate them by a semicolon. Semicolon lets the query engine know this query is over, I got a new one starting. Okay, and lastly, let's say you want to run the entire page. All you're going to do to run the whole script is you're going to come back to the same area. You're going to move down to the 3rd button that says Execute SQL Script, and now you're just going to go ahead and run that. And it's going to run the entire page. It says, there are 2 unpinned result tabs. Do you want to close these tabs before executing the new query? Yes, let's just close those tabs. We'll get a fresh slate. So that gives us 1, 2, 3 tabs. Of course, tab 1 goes to query 1, tab 2 to query 2, and tab 3, of course, goes to query 3. Lastly, we always want to save our work. If you're working on a very complex query, the last thing you want to happen is for your computer to crash, which could happen if you're pushing a lot of data. Sometimes it will actually crash the application. So you want to save early and you want to save often. So just like anything else, just come down to your File menu. And you're just going to go ahead, File, Save As. And you are going to just pick a location. I'm just going to drop it anywhere. You can really pick. I'm just going to drop it into my documents. Give it a name. I'll just leave script 3. That's fine. Keep the file extension as .sql. That will enable you to pull this file back into DB Navigator, or to DBeaver. at a later time, and then you can just run the queries as is. You don't have to convert them back to a SQL file. .SQL is just the file extension, just like an Excel file has, .xlsx. So go ahead and hit save. Now you are good to go. And now finally, we will be able to go in and start writing SQL queries in our next videos. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free learning opportunities. Visit our website at datacoaching.io to set up a free personalized consultation. We'll be offering private, group, and corporate options, and follow us on LinkedIn for special announcements. Thank you.